I was all in. I came to Atlas because I wanted a chance to build something and be part of something that was building. And so I was like, I leveraged everything. I put my house up, I put my retirement up, I bought the company, and I went all in. So it was definitely scary.
So that first year was, I would say it's the hardest. Every day is hard. This past year has been hard. The last 2 years have been hard, or whatever. That first year was hard because I came from a place where we had contracts and we had nurses and we had a name and we had a reputation. No one in that first year knew who Atlas was, nor did they care. The industry was too good. They're like, why do we need another contract? We're getting all of our needs filled through the agencies that we have right now. So that's when I started talking to Steve Ryan.
I got talked into this place by Rich Smith. Many baseball games, many hot dogs, and lots of Rich saying, hey, come over, we can do this.
Look, you gotta come do this with me. I know we're a startup. I know you're making good money there. I know you're doing really well. Come do this with me. And I would go home and my wife would ask me how I did and if I talked him into it yet. And I said, yeah, I think I'm getting close. I think I'm getting closer. And a few times she laughed at me, and that drove me a little bit. And it's an inside joke with us now that just made me want it that much more.
He eventually convinced me to come over. Left a job at a previous company, came to Atlas when they had about 10, 15 people in the office back in 2013. So coming into the office from a bigger company and seeing just a couple people in a small area and knowing that it was starting all over again was kind of scary, to be honest with you. We got going, and
that first week he came over, it was, he wondered what the hell he did. And it was because he saw just what it was like to be in a startup and what it was like just how sparse everything was and what we didn't have versus what he had before. But I think it just drove him forward.
First thing we did is we knew we had to put a lot of time in, so we sat on the phones and just kept calling every hospital. I mean, that was my day in, day out, trying to find contracts, trying to find open accounts and hospitals that would give us a chance at the time. And soon after I was here, I was told the company was closing its doors, which was a horrible to hear, especially with all the time we were putting in. So I asked the original owner if he would sell, and he said yes. So I bought the company along with Rich, and from there we knew we were all in. We had everything on the our house, our cars, everything was in for this company to be successful. And at the time, it was losing money, so it was a little scary.
So that's a pretty big risk then to just like buy into a company that's losing money.
Oh yeah. So
like, why?
Well, I didn't have another option. So at the time I was working at Atlas. You know, base salary $36,000. You know, I have a house and 4 kids, and I'm trying to pay the bills and make your car payment and make your house payment, and it was tough. And when the guy said he was closing the doors, I'm like, I was all in. I came to Atlas because I wanted a chance to build something and be part of something that was building.
And we went and had beers one night at it's now a Tanner's. It was the I can't even remember what the name of it was before. Anyway, out west, on the way home. And I remember it was snowing that night, and he was like, "Man, you gotta tell me it's gonna get better." And I'm like, "I promise you, it's gonna get better, but we only if we do it together. Like, we have to do this together. It's you and I against the world, and we're gonna do this together. And I promise you, I'll work harder than you ever imagined to make this work." And he said, "Okay." And at that point, I think there was a big turning point for us to kind of get things going in the right direction.
I believe in the people I had here. I'm gonna be honest with you, like I wouldn't have taken that chance. I believe in myself first, right? I know I can work hard, right? There's 24 hours in a day. If you put your mind to it, you can get a lot done in a day, right? So I believe if I worked really hard, I've had success in the past. So I trusted that I could work hard enough to make it work, but I also trusted in the people that I had around me. So knowing that they've all been successful in the past, it kind of gives you a little confidence. And then you start getting a couple deals here and there, and then you do a really good job, and the hospitals like you, and they appreciate your honesty, and they appreciate your hard work, and they give you more business. And it's just kind of like a snowball going down the hill, right? It just kept getting bigger and bigger, and just means you had to work that much harder to kind of keep everything going. So as the company grew, I had to kind of get out of the client manager role, which I loved. I loved talking to hospitals and talking to the nurses and hearing their experiences and all the adventures they got to be on. So kind of transitioned into the I guess CEO role, where I had to kind of get away from sales and kind of do the bank stuff and the insurance stuff and the lawyers and all that fun stuff that companies get to do. So I've had to evolve and kind of change. It's not like any of us have ever done this before. So that's the part where you come into a company and, hey, I'm a great sales guy, but then suddenly you got to run a company and you got people and you got bills and bills coming in from everywhere, and you got to make sure insurance is good and the bank relationship's good, and you keep the lights on, and you can make your payroll every Friday. So there was just a lot of different things to learn. It's like drinking from a fire hose sometimes, but totally worth it. Just neat seeing the people in your company evolve and kind of grow with the company, both personally and their career in the company. So there's been a lot of wins. I'm trying to make it sound like it's not bad. Those bad times are part of it. It's part of becoming who you are as a person sometimes too. And so I love Atlas. I love the people here. When you come in the door in the morning, it doesn't feel like work. And I tell these guys that's what I've always wanted. I always wanted to come in and just be excited about the day and see what we can actually achieve. And hearing the stories from other people and their weekends and and what they're working on, and then just to see the company grow from where it was. I mean, I think that first year, maybe a couple $100,000 in revenue, to well over 400 million is our pace this year. So it's not even the same company, but it has a lot of the same people and a lot of the same feel, even though it's a lot larger company. So that's our big challenge. I think making sure we're on top of technology and making sure we're keeping our culture. I mean, if we do that, we take good care of people, the rest kind of follows.